and let us all do we can to build a better future.
What's for brunch? What is for brunch? Oh, what is for brunch? That's right. Biden is not paying back the progressives that put him in office. Oh,
what?
That's a surprise. But don't worry.
I'm shocked.
I've got two videos.
Shocked.
I got two videos.
I'm shocked.
You are shocked and amazed?
Completely.
Oh my goodness.
That people thought this would be an
Okay, so first, shout out to Case Study QB. First, we're going to see a clip from Fox News, and then there's a second video clip where Chris Christie and everyone's best friend, the whole wide world, Rami Boy Emanuel, are going to be giving their thoughts on Biden and his administration.
So, Kit, this video, before we play this video, is this the Millionaires Club that we're watching? What is this?
I would say Millionaires Club. It's not the Billionaires Club because you know what it is?
They pay that to be there. Okay.
Yeah. So there we go.
Okay. What's the Millionaires Club have to say?
Well, let's hear what they have to say on Fox News. Fair and balanced.
Pick up on the question of the Biden team. Lots of criticism from the left, people like Bernie Sanders and Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, that Biden has not paid back a sizable portion of the Democratic Party that helped him get elected in the first place.
Hey, big surprise. Biden beat Bernie Sanders for the nomination with a centrist message. He then won the White House with a centrist message. So I think we should not be surprised these appointments have a sort of a centrist characteristic. I kind of agree with Ben that they're remarkably groundbreaking in terms of the diversity of race and ethnicity and gender, but they are not groundbreaking in terms of ideology. They are well-established, very experienced people, many of them with history in the Obama administration. And that is the kind of administration that Joe Biden promised to give us when he won the election. So no surprises there, I don't think.
You know, Juan, I keep thinking back to the campaign and when President Trump kept talking about the fact that Joe Biden was going to be a tool of the left or a tool of various other interests. What strikes me about the group that we've seen here is, yes, Biden is willing to listen to all the various interest groups in his party, both political groups and civil rights groups and, various other groups. But in the end, he is basically doing what he wants to do. And yes, he's certainly, and I agree with Ben and Susan, in terms of identity politics, there's a real diversity. But it's pretty a group with whom, on an ideological front, a policy front, he seems pretty comfortable.
Chris, I think you should go to the racetrack today because you got a trifecta on the panel here. You have total agreement that, in fact, Joe Biden is a centrist. He's a moderate. He was never a Trojan horse for the far left or a socialist.
You know, that's one of the nice things about being president. You get to do what you want to do.
Oh, I want to smack all of them in the goddamn face. All four of them. All you smugly. Like, they get paid a six-figure salary just there to speak the obvious. We all knew that Biden was a centrist. And to all those networks, TYT, Majority Report, and everyone else that was saying, oh, hold your nose so we stop Trump. Sooner or later, you got to lift your nose and you smell the crap and you realize that voting for the lesser of two evils, you're still voting for evil. So when the Democrats get demolished in 2022, if Biden doesn't do anything, if the Congress doesn't do anything, we're going to be hearing from people saying, why are people not supporting Biden? Because he doesn't listen to progressive policies that are widely popular amongst all Americans. Medicare for all, universal basic income, ending regime change wars. Yeah, Biden has such a diverse, intersectional White House. So diverse. You know what this should show everyone? That no matter what your identity, no matter the color of your skin, who you worship, whether you're in the Democratic Party and you're part of Biden's diverse party, they're corporatists, just like Donald Trump's all-white administration too, right? That they're just as corrupt as that administration, that they're willing to listen to Wall Street, big banks, and major corporations. So just because they check the diversity mark doesn't mean that all those people that are part of Biden's administration are going to really care about progressive policies. They're corporatists. They're centrists. They're neoliberals. And again, we still have to call into question Biden's legitimacy for the Democratic primary because, again, there was examples like we saw in 2016 of election fraud, of machines not working, people waiting 8 hours, a whole day just to vote, polling stations being shut down, lack of paper ballots. But hold on, it gets worse. Let's play this next video. Chris Christie and Rami Boy join us with George Snuffleupagus.
Question for Democrats is, how do they keep their enthusiasm high now that Donald Trump is leaving office?
You know, I think part of what we're seeing in Georgia is an indication of that. I think you've got a lot of energy. Organizers are leading the way down there in Georgia. We have a lot of establishment folks outside and in the Beltway following the lead of these organizers. You've seen record turnout in the first couple of days of early vote, record registrations. And I think part of that hopefully will lead to the Democrats understanding that we're better and stronger when we all work together. I, unfortunately, am not pleased with the bill that was negotiated for a lot of reasons. And I think you're going to help progressives talk about the fact that that $600 payment is just not enough as we go into January. It is lower than the median rent in most states, if not all across the country. And so I think the real question going forward, George, is who will the Biden White House serve? Will they serve people first, or will they serve special interests? And I think there's still a lot to be seen as we continue to fill out these positions, as we continue to see what the balance of power is going to look like going forward in the Senate.
George Rahm Emanuel, what's the answer to that?
Well, two things. I want to pick up one thing on what Governor Christie said. I actually think there's a division here between Mitch McConnell's interests and Donald Trump's interests. Mitch McConnell obviously needs, as does Joe Biden for different reasons, Georgia to fall one way towards the Republicans. Joe Biden obviously needs it to fall to the Democrats, so the Senate is not a killing field for his agenda. But I think there's a deep part of Donald Trump that wants to see these two Republican senators go down as a way to show that without me on the ticket, you guys can't win, you're not worth diddly. And I'm not sure that Donald Trump is interested in seeing the two senators in Georgia win. There may be a part of his motivation to prove a point here on his way out. To Yvette's point, and I think, look, I think there's a...
I just want to give a shout out to Rahm Emanuel for not answering the goddamn question. Proceed.
A strategy that the Biden administration is, or the incoming administration is focusing. They know that there's a constraint, and Joe Biden's been in and Kamala Harris between them have about 45 years of work in the U.S. Senate, not counting even the staff there. They know there's limitations and boundaries on what you can get done when it's so divided. So therefore, the cabinet is...
Let's play the next video.
Very clearly to the progressive wing of the party, knowing that very well on the policy front, it's going to be constrained by what you can do because of the Senate and divided. And one of the things that they're going to have to focus on, and I think this is interesting, is in this election, you saw Republican states vote for progressive things like Florida did for the minimum wage, Missouri did for expanding Medicaid. Those are indications that if you do a rifle shot approach, don't overshoot what you can get. Rifle shot approach, you can get a progressive agenda, and Republican states and Republican voters can support it if it's not overly ambitious, but targeted and specific.
Huh. So targeted and specific. So, okay, great. Hey, how about this for being specific? Okay. Number one, Ram, conservative voters and Republicans and libertarians do agree that Medicare for all is a great policy. Biden's not going to do it. A lot of Americans agree, including conservatives, that UBI is a good idea. There's a lot of conservatives, along with other people on the left, who agree that ending regime change wars is a good idea. You want to know who's not adopting those policies, Rami? Joe 30330, as he surrounded himself with so many warmongers, so many corporatists, so many bankers, so many Wall Street executives, so many lobby groups, people of the top 1%. You know, I'm still surprised that you're still on TV. Never forget that Rahm Emanuel turned a blind eye to police corruption and police brutality. Never forget that Rahm Emanuel and his administration never did anything about the lead in Chicago's drinking water. That's right. Not only is it Flint, Michigan, it's also the city of Chicago that has lead in its drinking water, and Rahm did nothing. Never forget that Rahm Emanuel shut down half of the city's mental health facilities. Never forget that he shut down 54 Chicago public schools. Never forget that Rahm Emanuel's administration covered up the shooting, the murder of Laquan McDonald. Why are we still listening to you, Rahm, and all these other pundits? And Biden and his administration, just remember this, that if you keep on going down this road of austerity, neoliberal policies, you're going to lose in 2022. You know, Democrats had a majority in the House, 230. Now you're down to 219. It takes a special kind of stupid to lose that because you guys want to be pragmatic and centrist. Americans are suffering and hurting. The rest of the world is providing their citizens proper social safety nets. Yet, once again, Space Force, the military, Israel, they get a whole bunch of our tax-paying money. They get all of our money.
Yeah, so let's bring back what we've talked about before. We really need to keep this terminology alive, and we need you guys to help propagate it everywhere you go. These are extreme centrists. Now, we're redefining the whole way of looking at this, because when you just left or right, that is put in a way that makes it very hard to pick, because left or right, that's left, right, like a bird has a left and a right wing. I don't know which one do I choose. I have Team Blue. I think Coke is better. I think Pepsi's better. I don't know who to pick. That is where we're at when we talk right or left. We need to be more accurate and talk about where people are, where you guys are. The majority of Americans want Medicare for all. Sounds like a centrist policy to me. The majority of Americans want a UBI. Sounds like a centrist policy to me. The majority of Americans don't want us in war. Sounds like a centrist policy to me. The reality is all the people that you just saw on that television screen a minute ago, those are all extreme centrists. They're the centrists for the 1%. If you're the 1% and you want an issue done, these are your representatives. They will agree with you. They are at the center of your issues. You tax cuts, extreme centrist position. I should say tax cuts for the wealthy and elite, extreme centrist position. Raising taxes on the wealthy and elite, centrist position. The whole left or right is just a weird way of going, neither side that's in government is left or right. They're both pretty much in the same area, just slightly different. It's the left wing and the right wing of the same bird, and they're trying to pretend that because it's a different wing, it's a different thing. We have Rahm Emanuel making the same points we hear Republicans make. We hear Republicans making points about Joe Biden a second ago as well. It's all pretty damn consistent if you're an extreme centrist. So what do they do? What's this look like? Well, it is a lifetime in politics that their wealth, they've gained huge amounts of wealth doing. What is it? The billionaires pay the millionaires to pay the 100,000aires to think that the threat are the people that don't have any money in their bank account. By the way, that $600 stimulus, we just read a thing from a month ago. It's going to be higher now because people are still behind on rent. The average person that's behind on rent is now behind $6,000. So congratulations. The 1% have deemed the center to get 10% off their rent that they do, give or take. This is what we're dealing with. We need to stop. So here's the thing. I know enough people. We've met enough people. We've met libertarians. We've met socialists. We've met all regular people. We agree on just about everything except a few key issues here and there. Let's remember that because these guys are trying to stop us.
And again, you know, all those people, especially the blue checkmark people or independent media networks that had a larger platform that were telling you that you had to vote blue no matter who. When you vote for the lesser of two evils, you still get evil. Donald Trump, look, I don't like him. I think he's a sexist, a misogynist, a racist, a homophobe. He's all these things. But he did not create this neoliberal system. Biden, who's been in politics for 40 plus years, did. Him, Nancy, Chucky, Mitchie, Lindsey Graham Cracker, they all did it. And I don't have to be respectful to these politicians because they've been in power for so long. If they gave a damn, they would have done something to help people decades ago. They would have done so. So they're not going to get my respect. They're not going to get my applause. And so when I say hashtag force the vote, progressives, AOC, on Nancy, this is the only time we got to do something. We have to do something now because Biden and his administration have made it absolutely clear that number one, nothing will fundamentally change, and number two, they're not going to listen to progressives. So if you want to fight for a better future, we got to do this. Hashtag force the vote, withhold your vote. We got to make it happen, and we got to keep on putting pressure on those 15 congressmen and women. Not because we're trying to be mean. I'm not trying to be mean here on this one. I'm just saying we got to start this fight somehow. If we're going to hold these Democrats' feet to the fire, show me another way. How else do we do it? We tried being polite. We tried being nice. We got to do something to push back because Biden He isn't going to listen, and he doesn't care, and he doesn't have the imagination to do bold things. He is no FDR.
And guys, I just want to remind everyone that there are real stakes that, I don't know, don't get talked about a lot. Every single day Medicare for All does not get passed, people die. And if you don't pass it, you're responsible because you have the ability to. Every single day a UBI does not get passed, people die. Every single day on so many issues, people die. And it's crazy that we act in such a way as if that's not a thing that's happening. Oh, we can't control it. People just... Our country is killing people because of its greed, the greed of the extreme center. We need to be cognizant of that. And right now, just communicate it with people because people are lost and they're scared. And a lot of people we saw under Trump, exactly the kind of people they blame. And we see on the left, the kind of people they blame. We need to consolidate everyone together to the real threat, the extreme center.
And a final note, too. You know, while the rich keep on getting richer and looking down on us from their ivory tower, it's okay for us to look right back up at them and say, my, how delicious they look as we storm that ivory tower.
Yeah.
Because, you know, I mean, after a while, being nice only gets you so far.
But wait, if we kiss Joe Biden's feet more, won't he do the things that we want him to? Isn't that how it's supposed to work? It's what I've been hearing.
Well, you know, hey, I heard rich people taste very delicious.
Very marbled.
Yeah, very marbled, very seasoned, probably with wine too. Yeah.
There's a whiskey flavor in this.
A whiskey flavor, so be it.